Yo, 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 what is up? It is me, Lucifer2B666, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Ozark Trail $2 knife that you can find at Wally World. So, first off, I want to tell you, I'm not going to say, since this is cheap, you should buy it. I really hate that with reviews when they don't actually give you an honest review, and it's skewed, because it's cheap and they're like, oh, you should buy it. Well, you know what, I don't like that because some people might be on a tight budget and $2 might be better put in something that actually will work, so, or any price that they say is cheap. So yeah, also another disclaimer, I have used this knife a little bit, so it's not as sharp as it was out of the box, and we'll be doing some tests with this. But first off, let's go over the pros and cons of this knife, and then we'll do the tests, and I'll give you my overview of the knife. The pros, well, obviously it's cheap. That's a huge pro. Number two, it is a lock blade, which I will demonstrate right now for you. I am pressing really hard right now, and it's not... I don't want to do it anymore, but it's a lock blade, so it is not going to hurt you. Hate that about some even expensive knives that are not lock blade. You press this little like thing, and then it makes it so this is loose. Then you can put that away. So that's a huge pro for me. It's lightweight. I would say it's under, at the most, it's half a pound. I don't know how to judge by hand how heavy something is, but it's at the most a half a pound, and it's probably less. I think I was reading it's about 3 ounces, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I was trying to read the package for some information, but yeah. Also, another pro is, I don't know if you saw this when I opened it. I'll actually just leave it open so you guys can kind of see everything. It has a saw blade. That's kind of a pro and a con. We'll get into that, but yeah. Also, the clip on the other side, so you can put that on your pants. That's how I carry my EDC knives. It's really helpful for me because it's concealable, which is onto my next thing. It's semi-concealable. It's not too huge. The handle is about 4.5 inches, while the blade is, I think, exactly 3 inches long, which is completely legal in my state to carry. So this could be a potential EDC knife that I could have on me. Also, it has a very nice grip. It's kind of ergonomic. Has little divots for your fingers, and it's a fairly big handle, which is helpful when you're trying to grip the knife. So the cons. The handle is made with pretty bad plastic. It is really, really cheap. But what do you want for $2? It's pretty thick, the amount of plastic, but it's really, really cheap plastic. I mean, worse than some of the like dollar store toys out there that are made of plastic. It's like about that bad, maybe worse. But it's molded good, if that makes sense, because it has a little slight texture. You won't be able to see it, but it helps with the grip. Has like a X design that goes across the whole thing, a bunch of X's, or squares, if you will. So yeah. Also, it's pretty big. It's really hard. It is concealable, but it's really hard to wear on you. If you're putting it on your pants, clipping it onto your pants, because you can't really bend like over or sit down or anything because it's so large. So you probably have to have this in your pocket. So I don't know. I don't really like that factor, but it does help with the grip. So, kind of one pro is sort of a con in a way. Also, it looks pretty ugly. I'm not really going to get into that, but that's my opinion. I just think it doesn't look that great. Also, it does not look like it will stand, the elements whatsoever. I mean, I know knives don't last that long in damp environments or wet environments, but, I'm talking about even just throwing this thing at a wall. I think the handle might crack or shatter. That's not too good. Also, it's basically a cheap mini saw. The blade is serrated, as I've described before, but the actual blade is really only about, I don't know, half an inch, and maybe even an inch. I don't know, maybe a little less than an inch. I have no clue, but yeah, I don't know. I just think it's kind of cheesy. I don't really like that factor of it. And also, it has poor metal. For $2, again, that's going to affect the quality of the knife. The metal almost, it's not heavy whatsoever. So at first I was actually thinking this was like some sort of hard aluminum, but it's not bendy whatsoever. So I'm not sure. If it's stainless steel, it's a really bad quality stainless steel. Maybe not even like China stainless steel. I have no clue. It's just really extremely bad metal. I can just tell. But there's no instructions or not instructions. I mean, like specs on this knife, like anywhere. Only the box, and it just tells you about the size and the weights. That's about it. And I already threw out the box, so yeah, that's it. So, let's get into those tests. Alright, so the first test, we're going to cut paper. I never have been able to do this. It's just going to tear it, so I'm going to stab it and then cut across. And kind of ripped, but that's because of the saw. Let's try this again. Fairly nice cut. I mean, it is kind of cheap. I've not sharpened this whatsoever, but okay, it works. It cuts paper. Now, let's get on to the actual real test, in my opinion. We're going to cut this wood. As you can see, I've cut a couple times, so it's not as sharp, but we're going to try this to cut through the whole wood. I will speed through this video if it's way too long, but let's see. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Oh, I don't have the time for this. Okay. That is the one I was doing. Let me bring it closer to the camera. Fairly deep. I'm not going to cut through this whole thing. It's just not going to happen. I don't really have the time. So, we'll just say I think it would be a very tough thing to do, but I think you can get it done possibly. Looks like I might have actually... No, it looks alright. It's just... Yeah, okay. So, let's go to the overview. Oh, here's one test I forgot to do, which is stabbing. This is fun. Oh, sorry, I don't have this on the best of surfaces, but... Don't suggest doing this. Oh. Alright. The tip is not broken. Seems a little... you can kind of see that. I think the edge is a little messed up now. Maybe. Actually, I think, yeah. Maybe, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. So let's look at these stab wounds into this piece of wood. Yeah, that's fairly deep. I did try this again before. Or I mean, before, not again. This is the again. That was before this video, but I did forget to add this test. So, you can kind of see that. I was trying to press this really hard into there. I don't know how deep that is, but it's pretty deep. Especially the middle ones that I repeatedly stabbed. So, yeah, there's an indent here now. Yeah. Well, not like, favorite, and subscribe. We're not even done yet. Okay. Over to the overview. Over to the overview. Whatever. Overall, do I recommend this knife? It depends on the application you're using this for. As a backup to your backup knife, maybe. It might be an okay backup. As a first knife for your kid, yeah, I mean, if you're afraid they're going to break their first knife, you probably shouldn't give your kid a knife, though, if you don't really trust that they'll take care of it. But you know what? That's up to you. I'm not the parent of your child. Having a spare knife for any application, sure. I mean, just having a spare knife around wouldn't be that bad of an idea. The only problems I have with this knife is when you want to use it as your main EDC knife. And if you don't know what EDC means, it means everyday carry. Or most of the time you carry this. It doesn't have to be every day. I don't really like that because of its kind of cheapness. It's not going to really stand the elements too well. And it's sort of large. And another situation I don't really like this for is when you rely on it in a survival situation. This knife is advertised as a hiking knife. I don't know about that. Again, as a backup to your backup, yeah, maybe it could be used as a hiking knife, but definitely not a good idea as your only hiking knife. It could be done. I'm not going to deny that, but I wouldn't suggest it. Because of its big size, poor materials, that will probably not last after a while. But as a cheap, I don't care what happens to this knife, it's amazing for the price. And I could not recommend it more. So, for $2, yeah, go ahead, buy it. It's not because it's cheap, it's because it works. It can kind of do a little bit of everything. And that's, in some situations, really good for a knife. Okay? Could you use this for self-defense? Heck yeah. It's sharp. It's not going to make the cleanest cut in the world, but you know what? It's going to really F somebody up. Pardon my French. You know, survival, sure you could. As your only knife, maybe. I don't know. It's just not the best idea, but you could. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this knife. It's okay for the price, and I'm thinking about buying a few more. So if you like this video, like the video, and if you seem to like my content, subscribe, maybe even favorite the video. That will get me more views on this video, and that means maybe even better content because I'll be more enthusiastic about it. So, like, favorite, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.